In this sequence, you're seeing a 4-month-old Golden Pup and a 3-year-old Labrador. Now, what we'd hope for is that the older dog would encourage the pup and make him a bit more comfortable around water. This often works out well, but not always. This lab is an explosive hard charger and appears to slightly intimidate the pup, at least at first. It should be mentioned that this pup's only past experience with water has been a wading pool on our deck, with water about 6 inches deep. As the weather warmed up this spring, he learned to kind of cool himself off in the pool, and that's fine. It's a nice introduction for pups to do it that way, but of course it's nothing like going swimming. Note that he starts the session pretty timidly. Not spooked, just timid, especially about going into the lake water at first. We're patient and take the time to let him just get used to the place and the circumstance. This is just what you should do if your pup acts skittish at all around water at first. Don't get in a hurry. My approach includes choosing a place similar to this one, whether it's a pond or a lake. It has a very shallow shoreline that very gradually gets deeper, as you can see. We had ample room to wade the shallows before moving out into swimming depth. It's best to do this in warm weather, warm for your locale. The water should be as comfortably warm as your location will possibly allow. Not too hot. 65 to 70 degrees is ideal. It should be comforting to your pup to get in the water and make it as positive an exposure as possible. Take a retrieve object along. I've stuck a small white plastic bumper in my pocket for this session because they float high in the water and they're easily seen. And the pups don't struggle with handling them in the water. It'll give you something fun to do once you get out into deeper water and get the pup comfortable. Waders are optional, but I strongly prefer them, especially in lake water like this. I have pockets for a bumper and a transmitter, although the e-collar is not a part of this exercise. I brought it for this pup because he was just e-collar conditioned to the command here, and I want to support it if I need to. Just not in the water, at least not yet. But the waders allow me to wade out as much and as far as I need to for a pup, and to spend ample time getting comfortable with the water at the swimming depth. Again, take your time. Get a read on him initially and see how resistant he may be or how accepting. Some pups will jump right in. Most won't. They may splash around the shallows, but they're likely to need some encouragement to proceed out into swimming water. Wade out ankle deep and call your pup to see if they'll follow you. Now, this one didn't at first. I pay special attention to how he looks right now and contrast that to how he behaved within just a few minutes. And the older dog didn't entice him in. In fact, the older dog's vigorous demeanor appeared to bother the young pup somewhat. Even when I played with the older dog, the pup wasn't comforted enough to venture out to me. This passed rather quickly, however. Read and react. This pup's somewhat timid attitude in this situation was unlike his usual animated character, so I reacted by coming up out of the water to meet him right at the water's edge. I stroked and comforted him, and then I led him along with me into the shallow water. Walking with me is something he's done in times past, so he did willingly go along. The change occurred quickly. After his initial reluctance to go in the water, he soon followed along, tail up and wagging, as we slowly walked out into gradually deeper water, stopping periodically to pet and praise. At one point in water just deep enough for him to swim, I stopped and supported his body while praising and petting him. He relaxed and wagged his tail, so I let him swim toward shore on his own. This is a truly gentle introduction. I don't subscribe to the notions that pups should just dive in for a thrown object. If you haven't given them assurance that this new experience is safe and positive, do so before any retrieving enters the picture. Notice that now when I call him, he comes right on out to me from the shore with very little encouragement needed. Tail still up, still wagging, he meets me in the water that he can stand in. I take ample time at this point to pet and reassure the pup that this is a fun, safe, and even comforting activity, and he should want to take part in it again and again. Now, if he's becoming as comfortable as you see this pup has become, pull out your bumper and toss a few short, easy retrieves and get him focused on the fun of being there. Note the first couple tosses don't require him to really swim yet. Even though it's close enough, he thinks it's swimming and initially heads toward shore. One more toss for this dog because he was coming along well, and this one required him to venture out much further, swimming out and back. And he finished his introduction, bringing it to the shore. His confidence had raised so much in just a few minutes that he even wandered over to greet the older dog that had previously worried him a bit. Just keep doing it day by day without getting in a hurry, and most pups will gain confidence quickly. Becoming a water dog is a completely individual matter for each one.